Did you know that according to statistics given by the Separated Parenting Access and Resource Center, over 40% of mothers admitted to having interfered with the custody to get even with their exes? At one time, I was on board with mothers always getting custody, but after seeing my boyfriend try to get his kids, that has definitely changed. Today, I want to encourage you to be aware of the problems with family court and possibly urge you to join me in doing something to change it. Most everyone has the misconception that mothers get the custody because it's just that way. This was a precedent set by the Tender Years Doctrine, as stated on DeltaBravo.net. Mothers are typically viewed as the caregiver. If they were to change that now, then it would change everything about government control and assistance. On Delta Bravo, it also tells us that 46.2% of single mothers are on assistance, while only 20.8% of single fathers are on government assistance. On family.findlaw.com, it even tells us that there's a syndrome called the malicious mother syndrome. Now, how is visitation determined? Parents first deliberate and they try to come to an agreement. This only works when the separation is amicable. In a perfect world, this would be great, but parents usually know what's best for the child. If that can't work, then next comes the mediator. A mediator is someone that comes in with an unbiased opinion to try to help the parents come together and make a decision. You'll sit in a room across from a stranger trying to fight for or against your babies. Now, if neither of these works, you'll go in front of a judge. When a judge speaks, the word is final. You cannot change anything. And this means that a person that you do not know is choosing the fate of your children's entire future. And what happens when a father or sometimes a mother violates visitation? Depending on the extent of the violation, you can start with a warning. If indeed the judge sees fit, you could be thrown in jail and receive even less time with your children. And for what reasons would a father fight for more rights? Now, first, let's clear the air. There are some parents that don't want to be parents. And I'm just going to say that there are two things that can stop that. Doesn't always work, but using protection is going to be the best remedy for this. If you don't want children, don't make them. I know under some circumstances are unforeseen, but also being selective about who you choose to have children with is not a terrible idea. Money is and will always be the root of all evil. Some men do not have high enough paying jobs to sustain child support, alimony if given, their bills, and then pay a lawyer to fight for, what is rightfully theirs. In some situations, when a man falls behind, his driver's license is taken, thus leaving them without transportation to go back to work and rectify the situation. I mean, I know a few that are disabled, and there's absolutely no funds coming in. Time is something else that somebody doesn't have enough of. When fighting for your child, you have to put an incredible amount of time into it. When someone is working, they have to take off work, then they don't get paid for that day, and therefore fall behind on child support and can't afford the lawyer. Is it ever in the child's best interest to not have the father around? The only time it's in the child's best interest is if it's an abusive situation. But when there is no abuse, there is never a good reason for a child to be taken away from a parent. Back to the DeltaBravo.net, we learned that 61% of all child abuse is actually committed by the mother, while only 25% is committed by the father. Many statistics show that fatherless homes have a plethora of disadvantages, continuing with Delta Bravo. And the reason that I use that site so much is because it was a conglomerate of all the other sites put together. Children from fatherless homes are 20 times more likely to end up in prison. They are 5 times more likely to commit suicide, and they are 10 times more likely to abuse a controlled substance. Are mothers more important than fathers? Not under any circumstance is one parent more important than the other. According to an article on parenting.com, each parent's roles are actually meant to complement the other. So where one might be higher in discipline, the other a little more easygoing. Or one might be able to get on the ground and wrestle in that, the other might be perfect at fixing banana pudding. PsychologyToday.com referred to a study done where 2,000 people were interviewed about parenting. It wasn't until later, and the study was investigated, that they found out that not one father was asked in the poll. As a society, we have given in to the misconception that fathers do not know how to parent. when in reality, for the most part, mothers and the government are not allowing them to show it. Today I've explained to you the detriment of taking a child from a good parent, and I've challenged you to consider being the difference. I see children every time I hear Pink sing. We are searchlights we can see in the dark. We are rockets pointed up to the sky. We are billions of beautiful hearts, and you sold us down the river too far. Let's band together and keep these beautiful, innocent hearts from breaking.